Welcome back, guys, to the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals, presented by Juked. I am Doa. With me is Beckett Tiltstats Primal and Mean Mr. Keen. We just got done with game number one, and so I think what we should do first is we'll check back with our placements for our first game, just to catch everybody up with where things are at right now. And so we'll take a look at that, review where the point standings are at, and as we check that out, unfortunately, I've got some bad news. Apparently, Aegon has lost power at his house, is unable to connect from mobile. And so he seems like at this point, unless it comes back, he's not going to be able to continue to participate. So that is a huge bummer, but unfortunately, one of the realities of our kind of online gaming universe that we're living in right now. So disappointing for Aegon for sure. Hopefully, he can make it back in. But until then, it seems like he's out for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, right? You spend all this time preparing, and then to have something like that happen, I'm sure he feels terrible. So
Sure.
make sure to hop in his chat. Be really supportive of him. I'm sure it feels really bad. Send nice messages, and I guess they'll just play with 7 people in certain lobbies from now on.
Sure. I mean, ultimately, it's a bummer, but like a bad tournament doesn't make a bad career. So I'm sure he'll be back either way, no matter what happens with this. But let's take a look. In a moment, we'll take a look at the standings overall and see what our next lobbies are going to be. But that first lobby was really interesting, actually, in that cybernetics are considered a really good comp right now. But they seem to sort of rate in a lot of people's tier lists a little bit below some of the other stuff we've seen. And yet it was like 2 cybernetics players that were some of the highest. They didn't win the lobby, to be fair, but they did have some of the highest placings. So do you feel like cybernetics is just kind of misevaluated sometimes right now, or do you think it's more that it has higher highs than a lot of other comps, but a lower baseline result?
I think it's worth noting that everyone started with a spat, right? Or I think
True.
the first
But they
full
got
character
pretty
was like
early,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think in that scenario, Cybers overperforms relative to what you should expect because
Sure.
everyone got Infiltrator, and Infiltrator Aurelia makes it almost a completely different comp in terms of endgame strength.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll see people spamming Cybers, but I think when you see spats, you'll see people lean Cybers.
Let's take a look at our standings here as they appear. And we have, as far as 8 points goes, we've got, of course, our 3 winners. You pretty much see our 3 winners, 3 second place, et cetera, right? So that is going to result in these lobbies going into game number 2. Again, it is sort of Swiss style. So you get paired up with the people that performed fairly equivalently to the way that you have. And one of the really fun things for me with TFT over the year is seeing all the different formats and the different ways we can approach competitive play in this game. Because again, as much as we love TFT, it's still tiny baby esport right now in its first like real year of competition. So this is a great time to test things out and check things out. Looks like we're going to be watching Lobby C for this particular game. That's the one on the right. What jumps out at you? I'll direct this towards Keen. What jumps out at you in that lobby?
So, I mean, first off, with no flame intended to the OCE players, there's obviously a couple of them in this lobby. I think maybe some nerves factored into the performances in the first game. So I'll be curious to see if they're able to rebound in this one. It's one of these things where you look at any of these. I was looking at the left lobby and I was saying, oh, wow, this lobby is stacked. And then I would look to the middle one and I would say the same thing. And then the right one, same thing. So that's the thing I'll be looking forward to the most. I know Chatskis in particular had a really quick loss in that game. Let's see if he's able to bounce back and kind of get it together for game 2.
Yep, indeed. And that's the thing. Like, there's every one of these players is going to play 5 games tonight. So you've got a lot of chances to catch up, essentially, right? Where there's only going to be 8 players out of the 24 making it on to day number 2. But I feel like 5 games is a pretty good sweet spot for, a big qualifying round like this, right? It's pretty forgiving.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, at the end of the day, TFT is about consistency, right? So, you don't need to take first every game to advance. And I think over time, you'll see, quality start to shine. So, yeah, it's a long day.
It's super interesting. Someone in chat actually pointed it out, and I was thinking about it. But with Aegon having the admin just FFing, like, how are you gonna do win streaks or lose streaks?
Well, it's one of those things,
Yeah. Oh, I mean, early on.
It's one of those esports things where
No,
it's
I want to see how the players adapt to that.
Yeah,
because
it's
you
like
can't you actually can't lose streak.
Yeah, it's like a galaxy.
Yeah, it's a galaxy, no lose streak galaxy.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it really sucks what happened to Aegon, but I want to see how the players actually adapt.
Yep. Well, we'll see how especially the players in the lobby we're going to look at adapt, as it were, because like they're the ones where the pressure is on a little bit more, right? Because the lobby we're going to watch is made up of the players that generally place the most poorly in the first game. So while we were talking about just a moment ago how 5 games is pretty forgiving, if you go like bottom 4 2 games in a row, that does get to be a little bit tough. Like your one big saving grace, I think, is that you've got that very even point spread from 1st to 8th in day 1 in this event. But other than that, you don't want to have 2 bad games in a row. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest battle here is just your own psychology, right? Like if you take an 8th in your first game, it can be really hard to bounce back. So I'm actually curious to see, who from this lobby says, you know what, it's a game that I'm going to put behind me and just put my best foot forward in the future games. And, they can still rally back. So it's definitely, the day's not over for anyone who took 8th.
They need to remember they're in a lobby with everyone else who's also tilted and also low rolled. Then you're chilling, I think. You don't tilt because everyone else is also tilting. Then you're just like, you're equal, you're null. So.
And it's like placing poorly in this tournament definitely does not make you a bad player. Like you have to be a really good player to even make it this far. So somebody's got to take 8th. Somebody's got to take 24th today, but they're still going to be one of the best TFT players in the world at the end of the day. So it's disappointing, but you're still pretty good. But it sounds like it's time to jump into our next game. We're going to jump on board with Kurum, and it is a super dense galaxy, but it's a real one, not the one where everyone gets the force of nature like late in the game. But check it out. It's also a super dense with a full item carousel to start things off.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Hey, nobody wanted the Hextech Gunblade? I think Hextech Gunblade is great right now.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that. I mean, there were a lot of good items on that carousel, but I would take a Hextech over Zeke's, I think, honestly. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but
I don't think you're crazy. The thing with Gunblade is that it's kind of it's bad on anything else except the champions where it's amazing. So it's like amazing with Darius, amazing on Jace, but if you don't hit some of those key champions, it can be kind of like a dead item. But yeah, I agree. Situationally, it's super, super good.
Oh, the Blade chose Kuramex. He finds early Yi. He's got the Zeeks to put on like a Yasuo later. I don't know. I know he's got no bows, but I'm just thinking the Blade might have chosen him. That's all.
Oh man, if he gets a bow here, he was chosen.
Yeah. If he gets a bow here.
Well, nah, I would not do it. Would you guys do it? I would not.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Master Yi is one of those champions right now where I'm like, it's so hard to sell him because you're like, if I know it's 3 gold, which is really important right now, but if I believe hard enough that the Blade chose me, maybe I'll get to play 6 Blade Masters and just like stomp the lobby,
Yeah, I think it's actually a mistake for him to put Master Yi on the board because now this leaves him in a situation where he can't pick up the TF without selling the Alawi. So see, he just sacrificed a pair. So I actually think that was kind of a mistake.
Would have been Alawi too as well.
Yeah, because you want to play Master Yi if you get bow, but if you don't get bow, I don't know about playing Yi. So I think that's actually kind of a misplay there.
Maybe I'm trying to reason out why he would do that, right? Because I think most people would have placed in the 1-cost units. Maybe he just thinks he can win streak with the Master Yi.
I think maybe I think he wants. I wonder if he's doubting himself. I wonder if we're seeing like a moment of mental indecision for Kuramex, where like he knows he wants to keep the Yi, but he's worried he'll be so tempted to sell it that he just leaves on the board so he can't sell it. But look, not punished anyway. He gets the rally too.
There you go.
And then we have Esha calling me slash brothers. So
the Blade has chosen him even harder, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see what his board looks like later, but early Master Yi. I mean, you don't type that if you don't have bows, though. So maybe he has some bows.
Yeah, I think unless Karoom plans on lose streaking to get bows, I don't think this Yi stays. I think right now he's just playing strongest board.
Ooh, all right. So
I think until he gets something stronger.
Yeah, last game he played Rebels, and it seems like he really does like the Rebels. Maybe that's why he kept it.
I think putting the Zeeks on the Master Yi just kind of tells us that he's going to sell it at some point. Because that's not an item you would put on Master Yi if you were playing Slash Bros.
Yeah, but it's a strong board, right? And you know, it's interesting because he didn't get an amazing item for a start. Like I think Ludens is actually pretty amazing, but he's sort of making the best of it, and he can win streak with this. I would just be concerned if I were him about hitting someone who has a better starting item and also hit a 2-star. So we'll see if he's able to carry this through.
Well, takes a little bit of HP off of Sphinx anyway at this point.
Yeah. I think we just saw you with a bow.
He is high rolling Alawi's, but I don't like playing Battlecast reroll. So I think he doesn't, it doesn't seem like he does either.
Yeah.
Especially with the start, no red buff.
It's like if you can't hit econ, I guess you just pick it up anyway to just have it. You never know, just in case kind of thing. But maybe even it's better. Maybe it's even better to pick up the Rakan at this point. Leave yourself open to protectors.
Yeah, I think from this point he's probably wants to stay on Rebels just because he also has a sword that he can turn into a GA for Gangplank or a Giant Slayer for Jinx. But yeah, definitely the game is not decided. I think a lot of time players, particularly in a situation where you didn't have a great first game, you want to sort of fall back to comfort though. And he's a very good Rebels player.
Right.
I think he's just a really good player.
Simple Plan also found the yearly. Yeah. All right. So the Blade did not choose Simple Plan, that's for sure. He's picking up Dark Star 7 anyway, so it's fine. Okay, this is a Yasuo.
Oh yeah. He should go Rebels, man.
I think so.
Yeah, he should go Rebels.
Man, but with the prevalence of mech, I don't know if Rebels is the play.
So
I mean, obviously, if they're giving you Rebels, obviously you should play the strongest board. But late game, I mean, I guess you're just playing for the best placement you can get, and if the game's giving you Rebels, you can go it. But I would feel bad.
True.
Yeah. I actually think Rebels have a decent matchup into mech if you hit Giant Slayers. Just because Jinx will shred the mech pretty decently, and if you get Rebel buff on her, she doesn't get one shot by the Victor super late game.
Right.
And the nice thing about Rebels, I think it had a bad showing last game, but I think, you know, for instance, in a spat when everyone's getting spat, Rebels doesn't use spat all that well. But I think in a more normal setup, I think it actually does pretty well into mech, but it is kind of item reliant, so it depends on what he hits.
I think I will disagree there. I just think mech is a lot better.
Another full item carousel? What is this?
Oh no. Super dense with 2 full items.
Wow, the items are super dense as well. Like getting full items with every carousel. This is crazy. We've actually seen some really crazy carousels today already.
Yeah.
The all spat carousel, the all force of nature carousel, 2 full item carousels in a row. It's like crazy carousel day for some reason.
I actually really like how the Galaxies are showing their strength in this tourney already. I mean, I don't really believe that Xayah reroll is like super viable for getting first, especially in like this high caliber tournament, but it was on the reroll Galaxy, and then we saw Kiyun get first with mech on the Dwarf Galaxy, which is obviously one of the best comps there.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. I mean, the Galaxies have actually, I think they've just improved on Galaxies every patch.
Yeah, well, the Galaxies system is it's just like a more evolved version of the elemental hexes, you know, and the elemental hexes were fun, but there were a lot of games you just didn't use them, especially in the late game. Whereas like, I love that Galaxies makes you think differently about the game, but it makes you think differently like the entire game. It's just such a much more effective implementation of like that philosophy. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've done a good job of removing some of the less popular Galaxies and adding the ones that, you know, keeping or adding ones that, you know, add what I think their original design intent was. So yeah, I don't think anyone has ever said a bad word about Super Dense. And
that
I'm actually
Gunblade Ash. I was rooting for her.
It you know, need a little bit of healing out of the ult, I guess. I like the concept, but she's just too squishy, you know.
Yeah.
So Chatskis, I wonder if you want to sell it for econ here at this point. I feel like you have to, right? Yeah. Okay.
Also, Warmog is way better on a protector unit at this point.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it works out. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Where does he go from here? Does he go fast? Like play for protectors late game?
Also, I wonder, do you try to go fast 9 here?
Yeah, I think it's hard to play fast 9 with the Bard nerfs. These days.
His econ's kind of low too.
Yeah, so it's like you go 9, but not so fast, I guess.
Normal 9.
Medium 9.
Medium 9, there you go. But definitely, I think this is a protector game for him already with his front line and having Warmogs and another belt. And then the Gunblade just, it could end up on like an A-Soul late or something like that.
How about the double Ludens on Teemos for Sphinx over there? I think that's a pretty
That's called the
clever early
Mortdog
game kind of thing.
special. He probably got
Seriously.
double Ludens on the carousels, the full
Yeah.
item ones.
Well,
I
it's
like
really
it.
unlikely he got enough components to make that. So yeah, probably. This game is really interesting already. There's a Jace in the shop, which feels like one of those units, like it doesn't matter what you're playing, you always pick it up. But maybe with this comp, you don't really need it.
You know what I want to see? I want to
What's
see
that?
these carousels in a salvage world. That would be sick.
Oh, dude,
Your brain has to be so big to process
I've
everything.
had
Okay.
that. I've had that, and it's really fun.
That would be insanely fun.
I
Yeah.
had that happen. Like a couple days ago, actually, I had a salvage world where I had a full item carousel,
Yeah.
and suddenly, like your brain does just go like, wait a second, this
Yeah.
could be anything, Yeah.
Because then
That's
you're
cool.
getting double the items per carousel, right?
Right.
So that would be, it's almost like a mini treasure trove.
One game I
enough.
had an infiltrator spat and some other spat, and someone in chat just pointed out, you have a fawn, and I was like, oh, you're right, I do have a fawn, but then it messes with all my other synergies, so I don't know what to do now. But it's so fun. It's so much more fun when your brain feels more engaged like that.
It's
Absolutely.
tricky to have Force of Nature on that Galaxy though, because you have to have it on a unit either on the board or on the bench, because you can't just like keep it on your like unit shelf, because it'll break down whenever you sell the unit that it's on. So it's a little bit
Yeah.
tricky.
Oh, the commit.
This is a
Oh,
mech game, isn't it?
it might-
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
going mech.
Mech.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty good for Mech. I mean, he has to hit the fizz, obviously, but item-wise, looking pretty good. I don't love Warmogs on Mech is the only thing.
But it's
So-
fine on mech.
But
What's
yeah,
the
pretty
other? Because you don't need to put the belt on mech too, so you can find some other third item later. So maybe you go for something like you could do this and do like a Titans, or do like a Hand of Justice, or like a Shroud maybe for that third item spot once you
Yeah.
bounce it off the Jarvan.
Yeah, so it's protectors or mech.
Yeah,
Trap Claw's not bad use of belt either on Mech.
true. But he already has a QSS, so that'd be, I guess it's more dodge.
Yeah, it's dodge Mech.
Yeah. All right. I just like go mech anytime I feel like I have an opportunity right now, because it's just so strong.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It feels really consistent.
Yeah, it does. I've had so many games where I'm like directionless. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be playing. And then I just like happen to hit the mech and I have like okay items and I take like that sneaky fourth, just manage to get in there.
Yeah, the only issue is he is kind of deep in protectors, and these items are also good on Syndra.
Yeah.
So Mech, I mean, if Mech chooses him, we'll see. But I think right now he has a bunch of options. I mean, he could even consider something like Astro Snipers if he hits Teemos.
We could totally put the Hex tech on the mech too. Like Warmog's QSS Hex tech is actually not bad, I think.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that would be good but the only issue is having the Victor already having the Gunblade, unfortunately. But I agree, Gunblade is super good on Mech as well.
You find another Victor.
I don't
do
know.
that?
I find it way too difficult to sell the Victor, and also I think I've heard that the Gunblade is not as good on the mech. It's really good on Victor, but not as good on the mech.
I don't think it's not a S tier item on the mech for sure.
Yeah.
But if you lack other third items, I'd put it on there rather than like nothing, But yeah, he probably doesn't want to sell his Victor.
Yeah,
it's too risky.
It does look. I mean, I think I would probably just look around the lobby and see whether or not there are a lot of mech players, and then just go protectors if there are, because those items are fine on Nico.
True. Well, Chatsky's doing definitely better than he did in game number 1. He took a very, very fast loss. Then, hey, it's a normal carousel.
Wow.
What do you know?
There's
Oh,
a
no,
picture with tier on it. I think that's like.
It's an only offensive items carousel, actually.
Whoa.
So
One cost rod.
All right. So we have not yet had a normal carousel this game.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. He opted for the one cost rod over everything else. So I guess I don't know. What do you think that's for, Becca? You think it's for Morello?
Morello.
It's got to be, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty hard commit then.
Is it?
Yeah,
feel
because
like-
Mm.
was
Morello's
Victor
is,
available?
yeah. I agree with you. I think it is. I think if he builds Morello's, he's going the way of the mech. And now I'm board
no,
with
but
Eska or
you can
Esha.
play Acel later. I mean, it's not as good if you don't get the protector spat, but you can play
True.
the Acel with the Morello. Esha with the jam.
Oh, let's see. Oh, please go Force Space Pirate. Please do it.
Esha's the type that would. I'm
Please
excited.
do. I need to see Force Space Pirate this tournament.
I'm totally down with this. I mean, it's one of those things. If you hit, like, it's so strong, right? It's just hard to actually hit. But his Darius is about as strong as a 1-star Darius can be, right?
Mhm. But he has no other Darii.
Yeah, Darium. I don't know what what's the plural of Darius? Darii, Darium.
I like Darii. Let's do Darii.
Darii makes sense. He needs
So,
another.
He's like contemplating selling that Jace.
Oh, he does. Okay, yeah, I'd make 50. I guess it's okay. He's already got a Jace too, so it's not as important.
Oh, it looks like he wants to go Meg. He's holding on to his Ziggs with his Fizz.
Everybody wants to go
Maybe-
Meg. Well,
But
you can hold. You can hold.
yeah,
You can hold the Ziggs for GP later, I guess.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Everybody wants to be mech. Everybody wants a Darius too. I mean, if he gets a blue buff, that is like great items for Victor as well. But then I feel like there's too many people leaning towards mech right now.
Yeah, I think the meta is sort of in a place where everyone can look for mech, but the real determining variable is it how contested, and it's more, do you hit Fizz on time?
Yeah.
Because if you hit Fizz before everyone else, then everyone else will just sort of pivot out.
Right.
If they don't hit it early enough. So I think it's okay for people to be like holding Ziggs and stuff like that in anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
Actually laughing there. Like Sleet is down to like 22 HP right now, so he needed that win to stay alive. Sleet barely clinging to life here. 22 at 3-7 is so low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, these are some brutal lobbies.
Man.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna take Sleet's view in just a moment here after the item round. I'm really curious to see what's going on.
Ooh, the 4 Sorks with the Space Pirates with all the AP items. Fun.
I love this. I used to like play troll 6 Sorcerer Darius games before 3.5.
Okay, that sounds fun.
It's fun. It's terrible, but it's fun. Oh, whoa! Oh, it's just gold. Oh, I got excited. But he did find a fawn.
Yeah.
Dude.
Also, he's super rich, so
Yeah.
he doesn't even need to roll because he hit the fawn, right? So he can just play an extra unit.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, we'll check in with him later. Sleet, though, struggling a little bit. The cybernetics seems to be the direction. He's kind of trying to do the Blade Master thing because he's got the Yi in there, but I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's probably best to swap out for like any other side synergy that cybernetics can use at this point.
Yeah. Man, he's kind of limit testing right now because here's the thing: he does have a spat for Aurelia, and he has a lot of money to roll down on. I guess it's 4-3, maybe 4-2 if he loses again. So he can spike huge if he hits. But he's playing it close. He's definitely playing it close.
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering if you kind of regretted winning that last round, but right before creeps, he might have been on a loose streak. But then again, you're at 22 health. I think you're glad either way. You get the gold or you get the health.
I think you take any win.
Yeah.
I take the health at this point. Does he want to go? No, he doesn't want to go Blade Masters.
No, I don't think so.
Or at least not for main synergy. It's too late for that. No bows really.
He's going for 4-3, roll down, hit. If you don't hit, go next.
Yep. Sometimes the games are just like that. He's got good items for Vayne at least.
Yeah. And one of the nice things about Super Dance, I don't think it makes Cybers amazing on this map, but one of the nice things is that Force of Nature you can put on a Cyber.
Right.
So that's one less item that you have to worry about investing in one of the supporting units.
It definitely helps.
Yeah, it does help. So
okay.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
Teemo, only the blue buff. So all right. Simple
All right.
plan now, the one in jeopardy here. 16 HP for him.
Ooh, I'm excited for this roll down. Is he gonna hit? He has so much gold.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
That's big. Big already. Vayne 2.
is that Aurelia,
Yep, trying to put together those 4 costs. Just
On 2.
I think you take a Fizz too if you found it as well.
Oh no, no Aurelia yet.
Salvanar, yeah. Oh, this is a little bit rough.
This is tough.
Good.
This is tough.
Everything but the Aurelia right now, basically. Yeah. 4 Chrono. All right. I think this is about as good of a board as he could have hoped for with that.
Yeah, I think 4 Chrono is a good transitioning stage for
Yeah.
Cybers.
Yeah, 4 Chrono's a nice.
Oh, that was rough.
Kermax. Okay. Hey, this Vayne is actually carrying though.
Oh, look at that.
Couldn't carry enough though. Yep.
Vayne's mechanics.
Oh, is that double lift?
Clean.
That's right. I was gonna say Uzi, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, Uzi would have been a better one.
No shade at double lift there.
The echo. The echo.
Yeah, you'll definitely take it.
Yeah, and another spat.
He's got it.
How are we seeing so many spats in these games?
So is there a world where he could work like Celestial into this somehow maybe then?
Yeah, I think that's something that you want to add once you hit the Ash.
Yeah.
Usually it's at 9, but obviously given the circumstances, it might be a little bit earlier.
Go down to 2 Chrono and then put that in instead maybe? I wonder if that'd be better.
Yeah, I think at this point he's just happy he hit 6 Cyber. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely help him stabilize for these next 2 rounds.
Ooh. All right. We take those.
We definitely take those.
Yeah. So take out the Wukong Shen or Jace. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you probably want the GA on someone else now.
He didn't. Not yet.
Well, all right. You still got it in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nope. This is fun.
Last minute. He's already got a Wukong and he needs to move someone else in. Jin? All right. A little bit of indecision towards the end here. You can't.
Oh, I think
Chrono in. Oh no.
I think it was a Shen, right? A Shen over Jin. He just
yeah.
has so many units. It's weird.
Yeah. He also, I feel like he should slam this Frozen Heart.
Frozen Heart on Vi.
Yeah. Oh,
or
totally.
Or Echo, probably.
Yeah.
I like it on the Echo personally.
Yeah.
I like it on either. I would just slam it anywhere.
Yeah.
Better than just having it on your bench.
What do you think he's waiting for something different? I don't really see what else he would do with these items.
I mean, a Shroud's always nice, maybe, but
true.
Or just he had too many actions to make in that one turn that he just didn't do it yet.
Maybe he's waiting for like a possibility of getting like a red buff for Echo or something like that because he's got the chain vest. Like there's other stuff, or you could get like a Hand of Justice maybe to put on the Echo or something. Where he's 1 round away from Arc Raptors, I can see a reason to wait. But you're at 22 HP, it's so risky.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, I would slam Frozen Heart, but I'm also not in this tournament, so you know, let's see what the pros do.
That applies to all of us.
There just was, we never know. Like there were a lot of actions he had to make, and the Frozen Heart might not have been like on the forefront of his mind.
There's a lot of decision points in like every single turn of TFT. That Riven too is actually really, really nice for him because she's just hard to get rid of in the back line and just gives Vayne so much time. And the Jin now too. So it's a pretty big win over Chatskis at least.
Yeah.
Chat Skies.
I was wondering, is it Chatskis or Skies? I don't know. Maybe he'll go in his interview. That'll be the first question.
Just wait for the Reddit thread later. They'll tell us.
But also, maybe the Frozen Heart's a little redundant with the Echo ult. I wonder. I actually want to know what he's thinking because it could be better items. He just doesn't want to make the Frozen Heart. It's redundant. I don't know.
There's like a little bit of a residual effect after he goes through, right, with the Frozen Heart.
Yeah.
So maybe so I think it's still pretty good, and it's still a tier as well. But I think it's just better to simply like wait and see what the Arc Raptors gives you, I guess, and see what he builds then.
I think he's really hoping for a bow here. If he hits Infiltrator Aurelia, the game is completely different.
Totally true. Oh, Nico's.
What's gonna be? Oh,
double Frozen Heart's awesome.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's huge. And you got Nico.
Yeah,
do that roll down.
Find that second Echo. Make the Echo 2. Can he find it? Be such a big moment. He's getting a lot of hits actually, so you can put the Shen 2 in over the well, that's still 3 Chrono. I guess you've got a Jin 2 now, so you want to leave that in.
Oh man, I think I would not use the Jin 2. Am I wrong?
I don't know
I
actually.
feel like I'm learning if it's just wrong.
I think
So-
the Jinsu, just given his health and the fact that he has Chrono anyway,
Mhm.
it's pretty good here.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, that's
Echo jumped away, but he's got it now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fast
that double
back
frozen heart's so good. Gets his ult so much faster, slows down the Jhin, or not
Yeah.
slows down the Jhin, but lowers his AD.
Right.
Really, really good.
Special Jhin rules.
Yeah.
It definitely helped him get the win over Sphinx for sure. Nerfing the Jhin a little bit was a big deal from
Yeah,
those double frozen hearts.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching this. Because people make different decisions than I would make, and it's fun evaluating your play versus like the best players in NA.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely one of the joys of casting.
Yeah.
We've swapped over to Sphinx's view now. 11 HP for him. So he's on the verge of elimination. But he's got a strong Jhin, and he's got a Teemo that will at least cast immediately. So that's something.
Mhm. Also, I want to note that when we started watching Chatskis, he was 22 HP, and then he didn't lose a round. So I think the caster blessing could come into play here.
Sweet,
That's
yeah.
true. Like Mort and I were talking about this with Mort Dog Madness from a couple weeks ago, where it was the caster curse, but the developer blessing. Mort would talk about something, and then they'd start playing well.
There you go.
So-
See, look at this.
Yeah. Wow.
EDP win.
Treebeard takes a big shot. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, his Jhin items are really good.
Oh, Simple Plan out in 8th. Bummer.
Called the BG.
Yeah.
This is calling card.
I know After Snipers is super popular right now.
Hmm.
He's playing the I always end up questioning whether or not I should play like 2 snipers versus 4 snipers. I personally prefer 4 snipers. I personally prefer 2 snipers. I don't know about you guys, but I know the meta is to play 4. It's the damage increase.
4
And the-
feels so fragile. I feel like you just have to be. I think one of the reasons why I feel like I'm bad with this comp is that I think the ability to read whether it's a 4 sniper or a 2 sniper game is really, really important, and it's really hard to tell sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of how upgraded is your front line, right? Like if you have Gnar, Wukong, and not all 2, then I think you can justify 4 sniper. But until that point, agree it's pretty fragile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a comp that's winning right now, so it's doing something right.
Yeah, it gets a win there. Win over Spencer's, who formerly known as, shall we say, the amorous animation deity.
I love that.
A synonym to the other ID he may be known by.
Animation deity.
Amorous animation deity. Yeah, that's. But he's Spencer's now. He's moving on. just Spencer. Yeah.
Will
There
that
you
fit
go.
in the client?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about this Blitzcrank positioning right here? Because I feel like it makes Ash's ult not nearly as good.
Yeah,
You generally see Blitzcrank in the front line, right? Because then that focuses the team mushrooms a little bit better too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he just shouldn't be in front of Ash because he's just blocking the map wide ult, right? So
Yeah,
I think a front line would be much better. I guess he wants bait units, but it seems like it's a pretty expensive use of bait unit in terms of positioning.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I get nervous whenever you see like something that can throw off Teemo shrooms, because if somebody like baits you and the Blitzcrank pulls in like a really high HP target, then Teemo's just like not doing his job, you know? So we'll see. All right, well, this actually worked out because he didn't pull anybody because he hit Aurelion Soul.
Yeah.
Oh, that Victor though. Oh my gosh. All right, well,
But it's Mac Man.
it's Mac.
But he positions so cleanly here. We saw him shuffling a lot of units in the backline there. I think he specifically scouted Kroom and prepared for this matchup, so that was really, really well done by Sphinx.
Jhin with good items like that as well is gonna take down the mecha really fast.
yeah.
Soraka with a really clutch heal as well.
This is always hard. Is it Celestial or is it the Soraka heal? With those Jhin items, maybe it's just Celestial, but it's always a hard decision for me, at least.
I don't know. What do you think that's Primal? Because I kind of like the Soraka one over the Lulu one specifically. Lulu 2 over anything, but Soraka 1, Soraka 2, yeah.
I think part of it was also it was costing him a lot of gold having the Soraka. and he's
True.
just trying to roll to 0 to hit right now.
True.
But I think generally speaking, Soraka 2 is going to do a little bit
Oh,
more.
he also gets to sell the shroud to
Yeah.
reposition.
Exactly.
Good shroud tech there, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think it was less strongest board and more giving him options.
Yeah.
So he's been streaking. Again, the caster blessing is in it.
Oh.
He might streak to top 4 from this point, which is really impressive considering where he was when we just saw him.
It's a new era.
There you go.
Oh, and he takes top 4. Yeah, wow. Treebeard at -1. Not bad. Win streaking, him and Sleet, the only 2 players win streaking here. So the top 4 have been decided for this lobby. It's Sleet, Kurum, Spencer, and Sphinx. So we'll see. Wow, GA. All right. That's always an item that you are pretty happy to see.
Yeah.
especially in a
Maybe Nar? What do you think, Becca? Where would you put this GA?
Dude, I think it goes on Nar.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ionic value also.
Yeah, he has the Ionic too. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you just said that. Yeah.
Well, Nar is a part of your front line that you want to buff at this point. So that it would make sense to put it on Nar.
Yeah. The other thing is that Nar, particularly when he doesn't have 4 Brawler late game, sometimes he gets like Mana Reaved or Shrouded and he doesn't get an ult off. So GA guarantees that for him.
Exactly.
This is a really strong board at this point.
It's huge.
But now
Finds
we're
a
on
Wukong too.
Amorous God.
Yeah, that's right. Amorous animation deity.
There it is.
Otherwise known as Spencer. And so we'll see what he can do. He's got cybernetics going right now with the 4 chrono. I feel like we're seeing this more and more in the mid to mid late game. This 4 chrono.
I think it's just with the super dense. You get the chance to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because super dense, the ability to get 10 units at 9, 8 units at 9, 9 units at 8 means that it just opens up more synergies, and 4 chrono is one of the better ones, particularly with these auto attack based comps.
Yeah. But he's out. A quick view at him and he's gone. Spencer out in 4th. Yeah, Sleet now on board with him again, as he is going cybernetics. And we saw that double Frozen Heart Echo do really, really well earlier.
Yeah, so if he's facing this Nar, it's going to come all down to positioning. He really wants to make sure. I anticipate he's going to swap the Vayne last second to make sure that he dodges the Nar, because if Nar gets onto the Vayne, that's really, really tough to win.
Nice. Let's try to hit almost no one.
Okay. He's got to win. Win to stay alive.
The Vayne's pulled in.
Yep. That's a little bit rough. Wukong making his rounds through the team too. Getting some nice CC, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit too much for Sleet's board to handle. So he will go out in looks like he may go out. Depends on it's going to be 3rd. Takes the greater negative HP. It's a double kill. And that means I believe Esha may have who took first in that one? Sphinx, right. Sphinx is number 1. When it's a double kill and we're not looking at him, sometimes it's hard to remember who is that top one. But yeah, it will be Sphinx winning that lobby. And that was another close one. But Cybernetics, again, I think really kind of making a good showing in the tournament so far.
Yeah. So first of all, super excited for Sphinx. Shout out Sphinx. I've known him for like 10 years, actually. He's my duo buddy from League of Legends. So happy to see him do well. But yeah, as you noted, Cybers has been doing pretty well every lobby. Didn't win again, but it's a solid top 2, top 3. And Info Spat allows you to take a first. So really well played by both of the players, top 3, actually, Sleet and Sphinx, because they one struck from no HP.
Well, we actually get a chance to jump back in with Lobby A. So hello, goodbye, Keen. We'll get back to chat with you in a little bit. But for now, we can jump in with this other lobby that's not quite done yet. And it is a plunder planet as well. So this is a galaxy that's pretty new yet. We haven't seen it a ton in competition. What do you guys think? Becca, what's your take on Plunder Planet so far? How do you like to approach it?
Plunder Planet is fun. I mean, I'm a super big supporter of any galaxy that is fun. So Plunder Planet and the newest galaxy, Salvage, so fun. It makes my brain not Plunder, but the newer galaxies are so much more fun than the older ones, and I just feel like Riot just stepped up their galaxy game. They went from Oh, except maybe Dwarf. I'm not a huge fan. It's just not as fun. But
Yeah.
the other ones, oh man, they're so fun. I mean, Plunder is always fun when it feels like you're high rolling, even if you're not. Even if everyone's high rolling with you, at least you feel like you're having more fun. So I enjoy
True.
it.
That real talk with Becca, Dwarf Planet. But,
Yeah,
I,
Dwarf Planet, I don't know.
I don't mind
That's
Dwarf Planet that much, actually. Funny
set,
enough.
set one nostalgia, I guess.
yeah,
I miss my Yordle comps. Where's my 60% dodge at?
right. Hey guys, so I just want to point out that Robin is 77 HP at 6'2". He's bodying this lobby right now, and he has a Thresh 2 and Urgot on bench. His Teemo items are amazing. So
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in this lobby. I don't know if he high rolled or played out of his mind.
It looks
but
like he just played at strongest board, and he happened to get a very strong board, right? You play 4 Vanguards when you're playing strongest board, and he's very strong.
Definitely seems that way. He's got the Jewel Gauntlet Infinity Edge as well on Teemo, so he's going to be just like absolutely annihilating people with the shrooms, and you can see that he's hitting for like 1300 damage. What? Those are huge Teemo shrooms. Grand Vice does not have a chance against that. Nearly gets knocked out right there. Wow, it's Pat and Replay out, so it's down to the top 2 already. Polt in third, so good start for Polt on the day. Actually, second place in his first game, third place in this one. Grand Vice as well, placing pretty well. Robin songs though, looking like it's a matter of academics at this point. It's how in the world do you lose a 77 HP to 4 HP?
Right, that'll be the most insane win streak of all time. And
Yeah.
actually, in terms of players to watch, I think Robin is slightly slept on, because not only has he been highly rated in ladder, being pretty consistently top 10, he actually won a tournament to get in here.
He's
He won
one
the
away from
Team Liquid
Team.
Yeah. He well, sometimes just not in the cards. Yeah, it's a good point you bring up. That's Primal. Robin Songs won the Team Liquid qualifier to get into this tournament, and he's been coming up. He's been a player a lot of people have been talking about in the last couple months, as he easily wins that round against Grand Vice to take this game with 77 HP remaining, and proves that he definitely deserves to be here. That's for sure.
Oh, it feels good for Polt as well, because Polt is
Yeah.
obviously a really strong player, creative player, and I think the last tournament he was in, he didn't perform as well as his skill implies. So it's nice to see him doing well this tournament.
I agree. He is a player that has taken an unorthodox style on ladder and done really well with it, but hasn't been able to translate that into tournament victories yet. But it feels like it's coming. He's such a talented player. He was a pro gamer in a different game for a long, long time, and he's one of the top pros. So he's got a brain easily big enough to become one of the best players in Teamfight Tactics as well. But let's talk to Keen here. Keen, how's it going? What did you learn from watching all those lobbies while we were focusing on Lobby C?
Becca raised a good discussion point earlier, which is 4 sniper better than 2 sniper variants? And what we saw was 2 comps win. One was a 2 sniper variant, and the other one was actually a 3 sniper variant. And what happens there is basically when you go up to 4 sniper, you add 8% damage buff on each tile, but you don't actually need that much more damage when you look at the comps. The Jin just overkills so many things already as is, and Teemo, you're just trying to get a bunch of AoE damage. But the way meta works right now, there's not that much clumping, so it's the Jin that's really doing a lot of the carrying with a lot of the front lines at the moment. And so you get to flex in a lot of different units. So Robin's comp there being the other most common variant would be the one Becca was talking about, was it's 4 Vanguard, 2 Sniper, 2 Mystic, and then the 5th unit is usually Thresh, so you can get the Chrono in. And that's exactly what he ran right there. It's extremely strong if you can get the items. You don't end up running like a useless Caitlyn unit in the end game. Even the Ashe, just the arrow isn't hitting anything particularly useful at the end. So it was really interesting to see a couple of Astro Sniper comps come back in. I wasn't really sure how strong they were going to be at the moment, but based on what we saw just now, I think it's pretty clear that they are still extremely strong comps, and it's really hitting. Like the Rebel Cup doesn't stand a chance against a 4 Vanguard frontline, and then if a lot of people are contesting mech, they can't hit it in time to be strong. And if you don't hit the mech in time, then the Astro Sniper can just kill you before you can hit to the end game, and I think that's what's happening.
So let's take a look at our winners cards from the second game here, see who the top players were in each of our lobbies. We know a couple already. We know Robin Songs was able to win his lobby. We know Sphinx was able to win his, but Ubo from Oceania actually taking the first, I believe, that Oceania has been able to get in the day. Only took 2 games to do there, and so strong start for him as well.
Doing it for OC. I like that.
Yeah.
Strong feeling there.
I kind of want to go back a little bit on what Keen was talking about. It takes so much discipline to play the Bard 1 for the Mystic over the Nard 2 that Sphinx had on his bench. Oh my god. But obviously Kurum I think had like a stacked GP. But it would have been hard for me to play that Bard 1, the dinky Bard 1.
It's scary, especially with Bard 1 getting a little bit nerfed. Let's take a look at the placements after our second round of games today. 2 down, 3 to go. Here's where we're at as far as placements here. And these were the game 2 scores again. So just looking at the way all 3 lobbies broke up for this particular one. So Sox actually taking second in lobby B. That's the lobby we didn't really get to look at until now. Soju with a third. And I believe this is the second game in a row where Soju and Milk took 3rd and 4th in their lobbies.
Yeah.
So consistency, at least.
Yeah,
it
it looks like they're gonna be.
Seems like Milk and Soju are holding hands, trying to get up to the top together. I know Becca mentioned earlier that she was getting a lot of 4th places today, so maybe there's something in that Golden Guardians water right there. Is a good old top 4 finish.
Top 4 Guardians? I don't know. I don't want to start a meme here.
Well, their
I don't take
LCS
what I'm saying
team
seriously.
top 4 in the upper bracket of the LCS right now too. So maybe it is a top 4 gaming.
Could be onto something.
Got a question for Keen. Keen, how have Jinx comps been performing in the lobbies that are off stream?
So the Kurum just now finished decently with it, but you saw that it completely slammed in the end game. I don't think very many people are playing it, and I think you're actually going to see it less and less as we go forward in the tournament. It just feels like it gets countered and doesn't scale as well as some of the other comps at the moment.
Well, let's take a look at the winning composition from Lobby A. This is going to be what Robin Songs used to take that. And we just saw this here, and it is going to be that Astro Snipers variant.
Yeah, it's just an extremely strong composition. There's very few things that can actually get in the backline and actually punish that right there. One of the few things that can do it is a Piba type comp where you have a lot of legendaries, where a Fizz can get in the backline. A Fizz can just destroy that clump in the backline right there, especially if you can get a good Shroud off. And like I said, the other thing that can kind of beat at it is the front line can sometimes get battered in by a strong mech because they all cluster around the mech, and you can get a big AoE ult followed by like a Gangplank ult. But But if the mech players aren't really hitting or they're too contested, it can be really hard to get on it. SG comps can sometimes do well into this as well, but it feels like other people just didn't quite hit the comps fast enough to be able to counter this. And this is still just one of the strongest comps to hit, especially with Vanguards being less contested early right now. The way you play it is essentially you go 4 Vanguard in the mid game. Like in stage 3 being the mid game, you play the 4 Vanguards with 2 damage dealers in the back, and it's usually something like Caitlyn, Twisted Fate, or any combo of damage with the 4 frontline Vanguards. And early Jace hit can really do a lot of wonders. You know, early Mordekaiser hit, those 2 units can really carry the mid game for you, so you can spike and hit level 8. Because you can't, if you are, a lot of people will chase this comp when they have low health early, and what happens is you end up not having enough money at 8 to be able to roll, and you don't have health to be able to survive and last either, because it's a really expensive comp with a lot of the core units there.
Right, so many forecasts there.
Yeah, it's all 4 cost carries. If you don't hit it, it's like Mech, for example, is good because you don't have to hit both of all the 2-star. You don't need 2-star Fizz. You don't need 2-star Rumble for Mech to be strong. Unlike this comp, you have to have the 2-star Jin. You have to have the 2-star Teemo. You have to have the 2-star Wukong, the Gnar. There's so many units you need to hit. And so you need to be able to win streak the mid game. And so that's the thing that's really fascinating to see with the Astro comps. It's not about the end game comp. It's about how well you can transition there from the mid game. And usually it's a 4 Vanguard type of transition. And right now it's not very contested. So it's good to be able to hit that.
All right. Well, we are going to get some lobbies reseeded for game number 3. Make sure everybody's playing against the right people it's supposed to be playing against. But don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back soon. This gives you an opportunity, actually, to type !scores or !POV in chat to take advantage of some of the wonderful things that Juke.gg has given us in terms of finding all those player POVs, hang out with a player during the break. Why not? Probably be fun. Or check out the scores as they are right now. And stick around, because we'll be back with another game of the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juked right after this. We'll see you then.